Sushi LiveNoding. Today I will be using Sverchok nodes to try to look at grease pencil data. So this is actually quite interesting. I've been wondering if we can kind of get the points of grease pencil using Blender 2.8 and Sverchok. And it shouldn't be too hard because if I look at this one at the Blender Stack Exchange, there's someone asking about grease pencil line and how to access the data. Apparently, with Blender 2.8, it's actually a lot easier. Because each grease pencil is now an object, and you can go dig inside the layers and then the frame and strokes, and you can get to the stroke points. So that's really interesting because you can actually understand grease pencil a little bit better. It's actually really powerful. They put a lot of thought into grease pencil, and if you look at now that grease pencil is an object, you can move it around just like an object. And then on top of that, you also have layers. And by default, this grease pencil, the one with strokes, actually have layers and then colors. And then inside the layers, of course, you have grease pencil frames for animations. And also you have, of course, stroke and stroke point. So we try to dig inside that using Sverchok nodes. There's one particularly super powerful node in Sverchok. It's the one with anything with ID or object ID. So anything with object ID is actually super powerful, and we can start with object ID selector and then grab our objects, grease pencil objects. Actually, now grease pencil is an object. I just realized we just grab it from here, and now we can get into the stroke. Okay, let's save this as svgp Blender 2.8. I've done this in the past. I'll probably do it a little bit faster now. So we can dig into the data this way, I believe. So now we have access into the data. If you actually use Blender console, Python console, it's probably going to be something like this object. So that's our grease pencil stroke, right? So let's call it GP stroke. So GP stroke can go, we can go into the data using this kind of format. So data, layers. So data have layers, I believe. So that's, so layers, there's a lot color and lines. We only worry about colors, lines. And then inside lines there's frames, and we can grab our frame number 0, which is the first index. And also we can get into the stroke, the first stroke, because there's only one stroke in this object. And then we can get into the points, and the points also have coordinates. Let's try just grab it like this. So that's actually just a single point in these strokes. We don't know how many strokes this guy have, but I'm gonna dig this using Sverchok. You can do it this way. You can also you can use Python or BPY, Blender Python, or you can use something like Sverchok. Okay, so data have layers, and then layers we can access just the lines. We know we just want to get the lines, and then we can get into the frames, frame 0. We can have multiple frames, of course, because grease pencil is made for animations. So these have strokes. We only want the first strokes. And then also continue on, we want to have access to the points. But in this case, so if I use just point index 0 and then go into the coordinates, we can look at the result. There, that's the coordinate. And if we are using Sverchok and we have that coordinates, we can just plug this into the matrix. And then in here we can use icosphere. And I believe it should work. I wonder if I need to do this. Maybe I need to join it. Interesting. Maybe I just grab the whole points. Still doesn't work. So it doesn't quite work like that. But I'm pretty sure we actually already accessing the coordinates. It's just in this form, in this kind of form. I probably need to at least join it, or unwrap it, or convert the data. Still, it's a vector. Okay, that's kind of interesting, but I'll try to use polyline viewer. And let me try, because I tried it before. It doesn't like the vector data, it seems. Let me save this and jump into my other file, where in here, so the points and the coordinates, we have the coordinates. Okay, it's grabbing all the points and then all the coordinates. So the output is something like a list, and Sverchok like that list, and then we can, so from this stroke, we can grab it and then kind of randomize it. This is what I want. So apparently we need to list this. And now we have the coordinates in form of list. And this should work, but it didn't work. So everything seems correct. Why is it not working is a mystery. So data, layers, frame, stroke, points, coordinates. Maybe try the polyline viewer here. Maybe I just encounter a bug. Try mesh and plug this into something like UV connection. So this should be a vertices, and this should be points and edges. So now, okay, we are getting something. Polyline. So this is our strokes, and this is our polygon. And you can see here we can already randomize the point, for example. There you go. So it is working. It's just sometimes. Oh yeah, I just changed the name to beta, and then try icosphere, and then image, name this ico, and I want to instance the coordinates on the matrix. Ah, this still doesn't work. That's pretty weird. Maybe it's gonna work if I plug it here. Yeah. There must be some kind of conversion happening when we use UV connections. But yeah, you got the idea. That's what I've been wanting to do. So we have UV connections, we have the polyline viewer. So we have three different objects. So that's the polyline viewer, of course. Our curve. We can turn on this line, so we have smooth line. And then we have this icosphere being instance on top of UV connections, which is just an edge. So we have a bunch of ico objects. Let's just merge it so we have just a single object. Ico, our beta is our curve, and maybe with our icosphere we can just move it to the side. Oh, doesn't seem to like vector add. So what is this? This is our beta. What is the old curve? That's our polygon and our icosphere. Yeah, I still find it interesting that it doesn't work if I just plug it there. It's not working. Okay, that doesn't work. From here directly to there doesn't work. So there must be some kind of conversion happening here from object ID. So like I said, object ID is really powerful, but you are dealing with data of different types here. I think it's from vector data into something that's just list, and Sverchok like list. Alright, so yeah, that's actually pretty much it. And if you kind of want to dig down a little bit more, for example, with our strokes, this is like the grease pencil stroke, right? We can treat this normally, you know, like because it's grease pencil and you can start drawing. Let's pick another frame and then draw. And supposedly Sverchok will update into the new frame. Yeah, there we go. So if you go another frame, so we only try to make a single stroke. Oh, yeah, okay. So one, two, three, four. So we have 4 frames. So that's frame number 2. I have this randomizations happening. Frame number 3. Let's see if I can kind of just do this. No, I cannot. Doesn't like it. Stroke, we can have multiple stroke, I believe. So if I, okay, so there's a way to kind of just grab all of the data and then kind of turn it into data that Sverchok likes, so to make something like this. But for now, we can do it this way, just accessing a single layers, a single frame, a single strokes, and then the points. So if we have multiple strokes, for example, let's try blend. So that's like multiple strokes. We need to go to that frame first, frame number 5. So we get the B, and we have stroke 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so multiple strokes. Maybe we need to have multiple output. So it's a good idea to maybe simply group them. I'm not gonna go there, I think. We can, however, do it this way. So strokes, grab all the stroke data, and then list item, and plug this into the points. Oh, there's a bug. I found a bug. I think it's because I'm using Blender 2.881, and that's, I believe, a bug. Okay. Let's use a number. So we can be on any frame here, but Sverchok will still access the grease pencil on that frames. Let's look at it using stethoscope first. Grease pencil, stroke. DPY data grease pencil stroke, grease pencil. Yeah, I think this should give the one we need. There must be some kind of data conversion happening again, so oh well, forget about that. But I'm pretty sure this should work. Alright, so found a bit of glitch there, but at least this is actually working. So grease pencil stroke, which is an object, if we go back to object mode, so grease pencil stroke, there's something there, and this is the converted polygon. You can actually, if I show you very quickly, you can actually use skin measure as well. Okay, skin measure and edges. And in here, we can play around with the radius. If I make it less random. If I turn off the icosphere. Let's give it a different name. There's a skin modifier. Oh, there's actually, yeah, apparently because there's a lot of stroke there, we probably need to resample it. And I believe we have resample from older Blender. And we can just reuse it. So this is older Blender. We have this GP plus, which is a macro. Let's save this as macro. I want to bring this into newer Blender. So file, append, desktop, and get rid of the folder. Node 3 macro. Just grab this. So this guy is expecting points. I believe we can resample it. Copy. Oh, we already have it here. So let's dig into this. Vertices and edges. Need to give it maybe different color. Never mind. Randomize input vertices object. So vertices goes in there. If this works, actually, I'll be super happy. And yeah, indeed it works. We still have a way to resample the curve. We still have our randomizations. Yeah, so I think this is very, very important. How to group the frame. Join in a new frame. There you go. This thing's powerful. Oh, we actually have it here. Wow. So this is our skin modifier. It's working, and with skin modifier we can have like a flat mesh. So that's also kind of nice. So okay, to recap everything, we start with a stroke. We can turn it into a polyline curve, and then we can turn it into skin modifier live mesh also. So this actually conclude my live noding. So sorry, it's a bit long, but maybe you find this interesting, because object ID, if you know a bit of Python, you can use object ID also to dig inside your hard drive or something. Basically anything that can be a list of some sort. You can use Sverchok nodes to dig inside it, just like this grease pencil. All right. So hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.